Hello everyone, and today's video we'll be having a look at the maximum temperatures and also the potential thunderstorm risk as we edge on into the start of the week, as we see more confidence from most of the other models that we could see a thunderstorm outbreak towards the start of this week, especially onto Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, as we could see some warnings being issued by Met Office later on into the week, but still it is a advisory, so we'll be having a look at that today. But first, we'll also be covering a bit of the temperature-wise side, as the heat wave hasn't fully cleared yet, and we just want to show you what the temperatures are. But clearly, those temperatures today has definitely dropped from yesterday, with highs of 30, 31 degrees, with exposed of 32 or 33 degrees, in which yesterday was 2, 3 degrees higher than today, and the impacted zone was much more localized as well. Yesterday's one was nearly around the whole of England. Today it cooled down a bit slightly, but still is still very warm than usual. But tomorrow morning, those temperatures holding up to nearly 20 degrees, if not some places being tropical night, which is temperatures not dropping below 20 degrees. But as we head into the afternoon, again, those temperatures on Monday rise to the maximum of 29, 30 degrees onto East Anglia and part of the eastern England coast, especially as well. Again, those temperatures, that exposed spot will be 31, 32 degrees, nothing higher than that. I do say this heat wave will start to diminish onto Monday. Onto Tuesday, those temperatures will seriously drop down by a lot and down towards 23, 22 degrees, which is the average on what we expect. Still pleasant temperature, nothing too cool, but still is still very pleasant out there in that sunshine if you're lucky to catch one. Tuesday does look like a very storm active day for thunderstorms, especially for supercells as well, as we could see some of that developing as that heat wave breaks. But still, there is still 2 days away to this, so there is still much of a change to come. But the reason I think why those temperatures have dropped from the 30s down towards the low 20s is because of that thunderstorm risk. We've got that cloud suddenly covering the sun, and that's why we've got that lower in temperature so sudden. But as we head into Wednesday, look at that, it rises once again down back into the mid to high 20s around the again East Anglia and central stripe of England mostly. But now, lastly, on the run Thursday, temperatures again very similar to Wednesday, highs of 27, 28 degrees, exposed could exceed 30, but that again will not actually be coming true if we don't see any signs of this coming to become to be a heat wave. It is these temperatures. It is pretty pleasant for the UK already. Nothing too crazy. Definitely would want to go outside to enjoy this weather if it's sunshine. But the thunderstorm risk you can currently see will skip towards onto Sunday as that weather front approaches throughout that low pressure system approaches. Along with it, it's going to bring several weather fronts. The first one just hitting Northern Ireland at around 2 a.m. at nighttime. On to Monday morning, you can currently see more sharp and heavy showers move in. The first batch of rain has now ended up in Scotland. The second weather front is now sweeping across Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland, and it's very slow moving as well. So that weather front will be on Scotland for basically the whole day before clearing out at sunset at around midnight or even further into the Lerwick Islands. Now it's more to come onto Tuesday as we get dished in more and more heavy rain, especially look at this into parts of the central belt in the United Kingdom and also Wales. Look at that, and also parts of England, especially Northern England to be specific, parts of Northern Ireland, parts of Republic of Ireland, and even chance for Scotland to be involved with this as well. Again, very messy day as we head into Tuesday. That cloud covering mostly the part of the whole of UK. These will be scattered hit and miss showers, and when I say that, you don't always get to you don't always have to be hitting one of these, but if you do, these could bring very, very torrential rain or even hail in some places. But clears off onto Tuesday. Onto Wednesday, another imminent weather front pushes in down towards the south. Not as dark colors as last time. This indicates a weaker weather front, but it is still heavy enough to produce lightning or thunder, so don't be underwhelmed by that. But continuing now, that weather front eventually sweeps through, and again, look at that, on Thursday we get another batch of very, very heavy thunderstorms, especially this weather front right here, which could form a squall line if we see this developing any further. But 4 days away, wouldn't say that much so far. Yesterday we did not see this at all. Today we do. But you can see those colors indicate that they are very, very dark on that. This weather front switches from starts from all the way from Scotland all the way down towards that London area, which again is a very, very widespread area across the whole UK, which I would say could be a washout if this continues to be like this. It eventually sweeps through and breaks through that rain barrier as we head into midday into Thursday again. But as it breaks through, these very, very high heavy thunderstorms pushes in across England and the Midlands. You can see these very, very dark spots right here. This is what I'm talking about, hit and miss. If you're getting caught in one of them, again, very, very heavy showers. They won't die out until the evening at around 6, where they start to clear off into the North Sea. But still, by then you can still get very, very dark colors by then in the summer. And then still by 9 o'clock it hasn't cleared yet, and by still on Friday it's still touching the edge of the corner of Scotland, which is these weather systems are taking really, really slow to clear off, which is why if we see minimal wind, these could be even more disruptive than ever before. So sometimes wind isn't always disruptive, sometimes no wind can make it even more disruptive by dumping a lot more rain in a longer period of time if the weather front don't move through, or if the very, very heavy rain don't move through. Now, we want to go on the outbreak run. You can currently see this first wave of weather front here moving in across parts of Belfast, Manchester, Birmingham, Cardiff, and just touching across that part of that London area and dissipating. But continuing Wednesday, we get that weather front again, and as it hits landfall, you can see it diminishes straight away. Onto Thursday, you can currently see this low pressure system skies towards parts of England, no, skies towards parts of Scotland. As we continue, you can currently see the outcome run doesn't really take this severely into prospect for parts of England and Wales that much. But what it definitely does, it indicates that something could happen, because we have got this line of feature here, which symbolizes the same thing as we saw with the UKV, which could actually spark up something very, very similar if we do see this model 2 or 3 days further ahead into the future. But we'll need to move on to the next run, which is the arpeggiated run. You can currently see very, very unstable, I know, but you can currently see Tuesday that low pressure is spinning in, and again that very, very heavy rain band over there. Onto Wednesday, continuing now, actually onto Thursday again. Thursday, the arpeggiated run doesn't really show much. All it shows is really this batch of weather system, a very, very weak weather system, and with the outcome run, it shows a very, very broad weather system with very, very heavy rain across all of it. But with the arpeggiated, it does not show anything with that at all, and it gives us this very, very little splash of rain, which is literally nothing compared towards the UKV and the icon run. Without further ado, let's move on to this image right here, where we could see the Iron Run sweeping through very, very, very heavy rain onto part of Tuesday, that very dark red color. The wind is moving very slow, so if you focus on Wales, for example, that's a hot spot. It stays on that red color for very, very long. Let's start. It starts from around 3 o'clock in the morning before clearing away at literally starts at 3 o'clock in the morning before clearing away at nearly at midday, which is literally a 9-hour period of you being in that very, very heavy rain. And if you're even in this low pressure system where it's centered this low pressure system is where it's centered. You can see, look in the Midlands, look how slow that rain, especially this part in the Midlands right here, look how slow moving it is, and this is what I mean. It could be causing a lot of disruption. Imagine, sorry, if you are in that center of the low, you will actually be kind of very very light winds, and when you get that very very light wind, it means that the precipitation wouldn't last that long, and when that precipitation doesn't last that long, you know that it's gonna be very slow moving and it's gonna cause disruption. But finally, let's end off this video with the UK storm risk. Let's move on into Tuesday. You can currently see Tuesday is basically at 6 o'clock. 20-30% storm risk highlighted by green there into parts of Midlands where it is reflected from most of the other runs. Now, on to Thursday, you can see as that storm risk has moved across, basically, look at that, parts of Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland, and also parts of the whole of England will be in that thunderstorm risk on Thursday as well, which we could see some models agreeing, some models disagreeing, but definitely an increase of models agreeing and disagreeing. Basically, an increase of models agreeing compared to disagreeing. So we could see an increased risk of a thunderstorm risk tomorrow, as I do enter this more in depth tomorrow. Thanks for watching this video, and until next time.